Good morning and welcome to Book a Day. This morning we're going to be looking at the book Breaking Free of the Web, a St. Anthony Messenger title about Catholics and internet addiction. It's written by a psychologist as well as a theologian who's a Franciscan, so it brings together the best in therapeutic and psychological understanding of addiction, and specifically internet addiction, as well as a faith perspective and a spiritual perspective, kind of like a spiritual direction perspective. I want to share with you specifically one chapter that will kind of give you a sense of how they look at internet addiction. First of all, they don't look at the internet as the big bad wolf on the horizon, as something that is specifically bad, but they look at it specifically in a realistic way in how it interacts with the human person, the human psyche, when we begin to use it. So, chapter 4 is Who is Most at Risk? And it says, while it may appear that addictions are pleasure-seeking behaviors, the roots of any addiction can usually be traced to a wish to suppress or avoid some kind of emotional pain. Addiction is a way to escape from reality, from something that is either too full of sadness, such as an abusive relationship, or too devoid of joy, an emotionally empty life. Emotional trauma in early life may also be the source of many addictions. The chapter then goes on, after looking at relationships and intimacy in a positive light and looking at self-esteem and self-confidence. It offers a section called Prayer Connections, and these are strewn throughout the book. And it really is a totally spiritual a prayer experience in which a person can really go back and look at a relationship or an experience of intimacy or lack of intimacy that needs to be healed. So instead of saying internet is bad, don't ever get on a computer again, it's like looking at what are the causes of the problems of addiction and how can those be resolved in a person's life so that they're able to use the internet in a responsible and a faith responsible way. So it guides the person really through steps so that they can look at healing in an abusive or a poor relationship experience. Then it actually goes on to talk more in depth about addictions and the problems that can happen when someone gets involved with cybersex or with for example, some of the games, the aggressive games that are on the internet that can be played by people together all over the world. And this is a quote from Tony. He said, "I could beat up other players, kill monsters, slay dragons, continually releasing all my pent-up aggression. But as a person, he was afraid really to give in to his anger. In cyberspace, he overcame his fear and dominated others, becoming one of the most aggressive players in the game. But as so many internet addicts learn, what is awakened emotionally through the emergence of repressed aspects of the self is difficult to stuff back into the unconscious. Once this material is open to the conscious, one must deal with its aftereffects. Of paramount importance is learning to embrace these aspects of self and integrate them in a healthy manner into one's true personality. Otherwise, one risks living a very compartmentalized or split life. And wholeness and balance are not found in either the everyday world or the world of cyberspace." Several pages later, they give the story of Nancy, who got involved in cybersex. And the last quote from her says, "Through the internet, I no longer felt like a bad or immoral person for having these feelings, and finally felt sexually connected and liberated. The trouble is that I no longer wanted sex with my husband. It was killing everything, my work, my marriage, my family life. But I felt helpless to stop." And this is a wonderful way to end our little presentation. The helplessness people feel in their inability really to get a hold of themselves and to stop using the internet in these irresponsible ways. So this is a wonderful book to keep face out in different locations in the center, so that the person who is feeling helpless, the person or knows someone or has a family member or a spouse who's helpless to overcome something that's wrecking their life or the lives of others, will come across it and find the help they need to begin to move beyond that Thank you and have a very nice day.